It is the 6th of October of 2026. Half and half chance of rain today. Just heard Riley Blackwell talking about it. About the same tomorrow, same, a little bit more of a chance on Saturday. Highs tending to hover in the lower 90s until the sun breaks through, and we are looking at highs getting into the mid to upper 90s and heat indices in the 105, 106 variety. That'll be first part of next week is what we're talking about. When we say rain, I'm saying the lowest chance of rain that we have over the course of the next 8 days is 1 week from today, 20%. Every other day is going to be like 40, 30, 50, 60. I mean, the rain is always hovering. It's always there. It's always lurking in the background, waiting to roll around the corner and jump out at you. Carry an umbrella with you everywhere you go. Joining us now on the phone line where we interview people here on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com, it is Tommy Tuberville. He is our current senator. He would be governor. He was a coach. Leave some jobs for the rest of us, will you, Coach? What are you doing out there?
I might run for mayor, city council.
Sure.
I got a few left to chase.
Why not? Hey, listen, we may as well start at the beginning here because of what's going on today, the contempt vote on Anthony Fauci. You probably were aware of what was going on there with the 111 pleadings of the Fifth, and you have said that if you are so lucky as to become governor of the state of Alabama, you will look into how the state might be able to hold him responsible for some of the stuff that he did. How do you think this situation plays out?
Yeah, when I got here, I was put on the health committee, and I went through all of the hearings. Look, Fauci right now, and we all believed him at the very beginning of what's going on. They scared us to death. He was the main one that was leading us down a path of no return, basically. And you got to remember now that this guy is responsible for misleading a lot of people, and we lost 9 million people across the world, not just in our country. We lost a lot of people in the state of Alabama. I've recently talked with Steve Marshall, our attorney general, and we're looking at possibilities of making sure that if we have the chance, he's got a federal pardon, but he doesn't have a state pardon. And so there could be an opportunity. Florida's looking into it. We're looking into it, to bringing him to our states and putting him in front of people that lost loved ones and put his hand up and tell the truth. Again, it's a sad situation. We went through that, and it was way overblown. It was done by him by funding, this coronavirus at the Wuhan lab. That's all been proven, by the way, folks. So that's not just conjecture. It's proof, and it's just unfortunate we went through that tough time, and somebody needs to pay the price. And he was the head of the lead dog.
And National Institute of Health. He was running the infectious disease administration. I mean, this guy basically was, that both Donald Trump and Joe Biden leaned on him and his guidance every step of the way. So when people say, "Oh, Donald Trump did this, that, and the other," I'm like, "Yes, because Fauci told him to." What do you think? You think he's an infectious disease expert, Donald Trump? No, he's a billionaire real estate guy. That's not the same thing. All right. Well, good luck with that. I'd like to know how that. We'll see how that plays out, I guess. Explain this to me. You were one of the biggest purveyors of this. You pushed this very hard, and it got through the House. That is the Daylight Savings Time Act, basically. The what is it? The Sunlight Protection Act or something of that nature. Yos have catchy names for this stuff, and somehow it gets to the Senate, and it's just laying there. Is this ever going to get voted on?
Well, I would hope, and President Trump is pushing it. I had President Trump trying to get him to executive order where we just go ahead and do it for a couple of years till he gets out, and maybe people would really like and understand it. We just want to leave daylight savings time. We want longer days. We want kids outside playing. We want more sunshine. But we've got some people over here, and even Republicans that I don't like this. I don't understand it. We did it back in the 70s, and it worked perfectly. But at the end of the day, we passed the House. It will end up coming to the Senate. Now, I don't know whether it's going to be in the next week or when we get back off of this recess, but it needs to pass. I'm all for it. I get a lot of calls about it. It's very important the people of Alabama, especially the farmers, have a longer day working in the fields. But at the end of the day, this place is not about common sense. It's about stupidity.
Which is why you want out, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I get that. Well, all right. So, from moving from the Saving Sunlight Act to Saving America, the SAVE Act, can you? I know that there have got to be 3 or 4 Republicans who, for some reason, are against this. We're talking about proving that you're a citizen to register to vote. Providing a picture ID when you vote to prove that you are who you say you are. If that was the whole bill, do you think that you could get it passed through the Senate with 51 votes? Because they want to add other little things like stopping mail-in voting and men and women's sports and so on and so forth. If it was just stripped down and it was the prove you're a citizen and picture ID, is that something you think could get passed through the Senate with 51 votes?
No, you can take everything out of it, but just voter ID, and it still wouldn't pass because we have 4 or 5 senators up here, maybe even more than that, on the Republican side that have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, and anything he wants, they're not going to vote for, even though the people in their state that they're representing wants it to pass. That's what gets me, and I've confronted each one of them. They can't give you a reason. A lot of it has to do with, it might cause me, I'm running for election this year. It might cost me some votes, and they don't do what's right for the people up here. Here's how this place works. We don't try to win. We try to survive. And by just trying to survive, who suffers? The American citizen. And they all love their so-called power up here and being called a senator and driven around in a car and being on TV. But it's gotten us in trouble, and it's going to continue to get us in trouble. This place is changing. I say, just look to the other side. They have gone so far left to communism that nobody even recognizes it anymore. They look at us as the bad guy because we're not doing anything. So it's just a tough situation, and hopefully we can get it done. But I don't know whether we can pull it off with several of these people that just do not like President Trump.
It does feel like in the Senate especially, nobody wants to make any broad sweeping changes. Nobody's interested in making a major. It's like, oh, no sudden moves, boys. Our job is to just hold on to our jobs. That's what we're trying to do here. Don't make any sudden moves. Yeah. Status quo is your best friend. And it's a little depressing to those of us out here.
Yeah, well, the problem is, we're different than the House. They go by simple majority. We go by a 60-vote threshold simply because the last 50 years they passed a rule up here to basically say, listen, let's don't get anything done because we're not going to agree on anything, and everything just keep running as it is. The problem is we've got to adjust the ship sometimes because the world changes. It's changing rapidly right in front of our eyes. We have to do away with the filibuster. The filibuster is what causes us 60 votes to pass anything. If we'd go to 51, we could really clean up this country just in the next few months and win elections because people are not looking at just being out there and saying what you're going to do. They're looking at what you've gotten done. And I'm afraid going into this election season, people are just fed up. They're probably not going to vote for these communists on the other side. They might not just vote. And that's very, very concerning because if the Republican, conservative Christians don't go out and vote, this country will change for the worst, and it will rapidly decline right in front of our eyes.
And not for the first time. All right, let's talk a little bit. We're chatting with Senator Tommy Tuberville, by the way, in case you didn't recognize the voice. Let's talk for just a moment about what's happening in the Middle East. Here we are on pause again, more conversations, more of the United States saying we're making progress, more of Iran saying, we don't know what you're talking about. We're not talking to anybody. How long does this go on, and what do you think the end game is going to be?
Yeah, well, I had a good conversation with President Trump Saturday or Sunday. We had to talk about several issues, as we do a lot. We talk, and one of this came up. And, we got problems, obviously, across the world. A lot of people don't like, especially the Muslim, Islamic people that worship Allah, that want death to all Americans. And so President Trump is trying to beat them back. Problem is they have dug in so much over the years that we're hitting them really hard, and we're making progress, but they still continue to fight back because they just hate us so much. They'd rather die than give in and make the world a safer place. So what's basically going to happen is President Trump's playing whack-a-mole, every time they stick their head up and do something stupid, he's going to hit them several times, and we'll back off. They're not getting anything coming in. They're going to start suffering from food, water, all those things. But at the end of the day, we've got to win this battle. This can't be a tie. This has to be a win. And President Trump has made lots of progress. He's getting hammered up here on the Hill by Republicans and Democrats because, oh my God, it's election year. We might lose power. Hell, we don't use it anyway. What do we need it for? But at the end of the day, President Trump's doing the right thing. He's making the world a safer place. But we got to be really careful because these people, these nut jobs over there, we've hit them hard, but they still have 4,000 or 5,000 long-range missiles. They could create havoc all over the Middle East, put us in a situation where there won't be any oil moving in the Middle East, and it'd shoot up to $120, $30, $40 a barrel, and then prices would skyrocket. So President Trump's balancing. He's juggling bowling balls. I mean, trying to get something done for the people, not just in our country, but around the world. But our allies aren't helping us. NATO is chickened out on us, and we're basically doing it ourselves. And I'm proud of President Trump hanging in there because he could have quit this a long time ago.
Beautiful. One last question for you, sir, before we let you go do your job. You running for governor, obviously. Right now, it looks like you're well in the lead, and every reason to believe that we will be speaking with Governor Tommy Tuberville early next year. Give me the top two things you'd like to do for the state of Alabama outside of pursuing Fauci. Is there something in the state that's not happening that you'd like to see, or something that is happening that you'd like to stop?
Yeah, well, we've put together a plan. We got a game plan. We got people in line that we feel like we put in those positions that know how to implement that plan. It's not just having one; you got to be able to do it. Our first thing is law enforcement. If you don't have safe streets and neighborhoods, then you got a huge problem. Plus, our biggest job is to grow the state. When you grow your state, you can lower taxes. You can do things to help the people that already live in the state. And so people ask me when they come in about, manufacturing, bringing in jobs and all that, how's this place? How's the, the safe streets? I mean, we have good neighborhoods. Do we have good education and all that? We've got to put a product together that people are going to buy. Now, President Trump's given us $8 billion worth of manufacturing and jobs just in the last year. $8 billion, more than any other state. And if you don't think he's not a friend of our state, then you need to second guess yourself. But law enforcement, education, and of course, we've got to build infrastructure, and all those things are going to make us grow as a state and be able to keep, not just grow, but keep what we already have, because we are growing leaps and bounds. They're growing in Huntsville 12 people a day, Birmingham 3 people a day, Auburn, for instance, 7 people a day, Montgomery 0 people a day. Does that tell you something about Montgomery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got problems. Yeah, so it's we've got a lot of things we got to do, but it's not like offensive, defensive kicking game. It's about having a plan for prisons and law enforcement and education and infrastructure and health care. So it is a major undertaking. Just in a state like ours of 5.5 to 6 million people that is going to grow, we got to make progress to give a chance for the people in our state to live a great and healthier and prosperous life, and keep our kids in our state. A lot of them are leaving, and so that's going to be a big fight also. But I'm looking forward to it. We got there's problems, but they're not problems we can't fix. But we're going to need the help of the guy in the White House up here, and he is told he will help.
Marvelous, Senator. Thank you very much for your time. When you come back, we'll talk a little bit more about your governor's race and what's going on with data centers and so on and so forth. But in the meantime, we appreciate your time as always and look forward to chatting with you again in the not-too-distant future.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Take care, my friend. There you go. There's Senator Tommy Tuberville. Senator Coach Tommy Tuberville. He likes to be called Coach. I think he's a senator. Why can't we just call him Senator? Is there something wrong with that? Let's do that. Soon he'll be governor. What are we going to do? Coach Senator Governor Tommy Tuberville? He's going to get 3 titles. We don't need that. Let's just stick with the one he's doing right now, shall we?
He could Robert Bentley it and change his name so that way it could appear on the ballot.
That's right.
Coach.
Dr. Robert Bentley. Hey, let's talk about your roof, HHM Roofing and Construction at 396-7077. has got a killer website. It's called hhmroofs.com, hhmroofs.com. You go there, you see a nice little cartoon drawing of Ryan and his dog. That's he owns the company, of course. He and his lovely missus recorded a series of explainer videos, a lot of stuff that you really need to know about your roofing and about construction that you might not know, but these are very short videos. They took into account, and I asked him about this specifically. I said, I got to tell you, I have got the shortest attention span when it comes to this stuff. If this is, more than 90 seconds long, I'm not going to watch it. He goes, no, they're almost all 90 seconds long. Some of them are significantly less than that. Goal is to just get the information in short little blips into people's heads and be 100% transparent about what we're doing here. They have an instant estimator right there on their website, hhmroofs.com. I love that. I love the fact that they are honest, they are open, they take pictures every step of the way so that you can get the before and after experience of working with HHM Roofing and Construction. They're the only guys I would trust to touch my roof. 396-7077, 396-7077, or check out their great website and all the 5-star reviews at hhmroofs.com. Well, there you go. She just rolled the chair over the headphone cords again. We just saw it.
I have not figured out. I've not figured out what to do with this to keep that from happening.
Do you know how to tie a sheep shank? I'm sorry, a sheet bend is what I'm thinking of. It's what Quint had Hooper tie in Jaws to show him how to. Yeah, it shortens a rope without actually cutting it.
Well, then what's going to happen is I'm going to pull this like out, or these are going to come off, or I'm going to break. I don't know. I'll figure something out.
I'm sure you will.
I'm trying not to like break the equipment.
I appreciate
process.
that. You're very kind.
She's trying to fix one problem without creating another one.
Yes.
A lot of our fill-in people, they come in here. They don't worry about breaking the equipment. They just break it. They just do that, and it's nice that you actually.
I don't work here full time. I don't care.
Give a damn. All right, time to do three things because. Yeah.
And now it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
We'll make this quick. North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation said that Caswell County Sheriff's Office requested help when 3 people were killed in a North Carolina shooting. It looks like it was a family affair, a domestic family event. You hear frequently about these mass shootings, and you find out that they actually were fairly well targeted. By the way, we do not have any more information about the in-and-out shooting in Idaho, which is disturbing to me. Why can we not get a footprint on this guy? A digital footprint, what was going on in this 24-year-old's mind when he decided to take a rifle to an In-N-Out Burger and start shooting people, and thank God there was an armed citizen there who was prepared to do battle with him and chase him out. We talked a little bit about Fauci being slapped with a subpoena in Florida, and now, as we just spoke with the soon-to-be Governor Tommy Tuberville, he says he'd like to do the same thing in the state of Alabama. The problem, of course, is you have to find a state law that was broken, and that is exactly what is going on right now with the Attorney General in Florida. He is going to slap a subpoena on Fauci, bring him in hopefully for some questioning, and then see if they can't dig through some of his records to see if maybe he didn't break a Florida law or 2 or 3 or 5 and try to hold him responsible for that. As I've said, the powerful tend to protect each other. Almost nobody ever pays for things like this. And it's a shame because, well over 1 million Americans dead. We'll never know the actual number of people who died from COVID because so many people died with COVID. And when you actually subsidize the hospitals for having more COVID deaths, well, what have you done? You've created a situation where you're going,
everything
are you
is
sure?
marked as a COVID
Are
death.
you sure he didn't have COVID? Yes, he had COVID when he was shot. Okay, we'll mark that down as a COVID death. If you have driven by the lake, it's not a big lake, it's almost a pond. But anyway, Highway 31 and River Chase Drive in, is that Hoover? I guess it's
No,
Hoover.
that's Hoover.
Technically it's Hoover, yeah.
Yeah, very, very northern part of Pelham.
Right,
Yeah.
there you go. This lake is on private property, but it has been sinking. I mean, we have lost a lot of water out of there, and you might look at it and say, I thought we were getting a lot of rain. Why is this water disappearing? Apparently, there is an overflow system problem, and it is a private lake. It's actually on private property, and the people who own it have got to hire a contractor to evaluate the overflow system, determine what kind of repairs are needed. It's a shame because it's kind of an eyesore when you see this lake slowly disappearing, and it doesn't look like it's going to come back anytime soon, unless and until they can fix the overflow problem and then hopefully get it filled back up again.
I read that this morning, and I've driven by there recently, and I did not notice. So that must be a very, very recent thing. Either that, or I'm just not observant, which could be the case.
I'm going to guess it's option B.
Yeah,
Well,
I hadn't noticed anything that low, because that is very low.
If you're not looking for it, you can easily drive right past it, not think about it, and just, hey, I wonder what's going on there, and then you just move on with your life. But yeah, something is amiss, shall we say? I love the fact that there's a private lake there that this guy owns. I don't know if it's a guy or if it's a consortium or whatever it is. It's on private property. It's like, that's our lake. Can we go sailing on it? No. Don't touch it. Look away from the lake. We don't want you anywhere near the lake. Do you own a piece of property along with several other people? It's called undivided ownership. And if mom and or dad or your uncle or your grandpa left it to you and your brothers and sisters and cousin Phil or whatever the case may be, you may be wondering, how do we resolve this issue? How do we turn this into a liquid asset that everybody can use? Well, it's not difficult. Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing specializes in exactly this. They got some cool software that can help divide that up into smaller parcels. Then you can auction them all off on the same day. Get a date certain of sale, a date certain of close, and the buyer pays all the closing costs. But you really need to get a free, no obligation presentation from Jack Granger and Company. GTauctions.com, the place to do that. GTauctions.com. Undivided ownership can turn into a liquid asset if you do it right. GTauctions.com. Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing. The strawberry alarm clock, most famous for sending Ed King over to Leonard Skinner when they broke up.
I hear this song and I think of Austin Powers.
I guess that does make sense. Yes, I can
Yeah.
see that. Yeah. I think of a horrible movie I saw once called Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. It was written by Roger Ebert, the famous movie critic. You know, I think he co-wrote it with somebody else, and it is a horrible movie set in the '60s. I mean, it is in the '60s. It was made in the '60s or the early '70s, and the Strawberry Alarm Clock was the band of record that showed up at all the parties, and they played that song and other songs, and it's just it's one of those movies that's so bad that you just can't turn away. You're like, it's like a train wreck. I can't stop watching it. Truly atrocious. You get a chance.
1970. Yeah.
1970. And you get a chance to see it. Don't. 7:37 with Dixon Inviting. She is Catherine Kyatt, noted criminal defense attorney. If you ever actually need her, you're probably in serious trouble. Do you want to throw a phone number out there or something? We never actually promote you as that, but we've got a load of criminals listening to us every day.
205
Yeah.
936 3746.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of our listenership, don't you?
You will speak with my lovely assistant Misty that
Mhm.
will take your information and forward it on to me, and I'm happy to help. I do free consults.
Mhm.
I do free phone consultations.
Do you have a website we can go to?
KyattKingLaw.com, KyattKingLaw.com.
All righty then. I do think a lot of our listeners, it's mostly white collar crime, Steve, is what I'm saying. And we love that.
Whatever works for you.
There, you just got paid for filling in 3 times this week.
Thank you.
You got a free ad.
Thank you.
Flipsy's Furniture is at 1811 Crestwood Boulevard in beautiful Irondale, also in Hoover across from the Galleria on Highway 31. Both locations loaded down with furniture. You know, there's little paths through the store as to how to get from point A to point B so that you can, really get in and enjoy all the furniture. The Irondale location is kind of for everybody, every kind of make and model and kind you can imagine that is designer furniture, but it's at wholesale prices, and it will fit any kind of decor that you have. And then the Hoover store, really more for Hoover places. If you own a house in Hoover, you're going to want to shop there. And you can shop around if you want. Do you want to stop by one of the other myriad, furniture stores in Hoover? Knock yourself out. But don't buy anything until you've walked into Flipsy's Furniture and seen their lower prices and dealt with their wonderful people. Get their white glove delivery and take advantage of 12 months, same as cash. It's all right there, 2 locations. Flipsy'sFurniture.com if you'd like to find out more. Flipsy'sFurniture.com. Irondale and Hoover. When I think about fast food breakfasts, for some reason, Chick-fil-A does not come to mind like it probably should. I have enjoyed Chick-fil-A breakfasts on occasion, usually when I'm traveling, but it's not the first thing. I'm an Egg McMuffin guy. I'm a breakfast burrito guy. So I think almost immediately McDonald's, maybe Sonic, something like that. But Chick-fil-A does churn out a pretty good breakfast.
Say, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
And I don't do a whole lot of fast food, and Chick-fil-A is, I'm not a big fan of Chick-fil-A.
Really?
I know that's kind of sinful, probably, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Why do you hate Jesus? I
You
need
would
answers.
think that would be the reason, but that is not the reason.
She's slated to fill in tomorrow, yeah? Maybe not anymore.
But chicken minis.
Yeah.
But the chicken minis
Right.
from Chick-fil-A, that is, if I'm going to do a fast food breakfast, absolute go-to.
Chicken nuggets in little tiny biscuits. That's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're delicious.
They're delicious.
You can get, I think, 3 or 4, depending on the size of the order you want. Plus
With
their
honey?
hash browns. Oh, love the honey.
Oh, yeah.
Love the honey. I happen to have here, according to our friends at Daily Meal, Chelsea Fallon, not spelled like Jimmy Fallon, but Chelsea Fallon, has written the 7 Chick-fil-A breakfast menu items to order and the 4 you should skip. Okay. Number 1 would be the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit. I don't dispute that. For some reason, when you take that Chick-fil-A patty and you put it on a biscuit that is soft and pillowy and chewy, and it disintegrates in your mouth like it's supposed to, it's just better than it is on a sandwich roll, in my opinion.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about the biscuit that just makes it so much better. But there are times at lunch when I'm like, could you put that on a biscuit for me? No, the biscuits are frozen. We can't do anything for you. Okay, thanks for nothing. The second choice would be the spicy chicken biscuit. The first time I had one of these, I mean, heaven opened up for me.
I've never had that. I don't think that they do the spicy ones in the minis.
No,
I'm going
no,
for
they
the
do not.
minis
Yeah.
every time.
Of course you are.
I wish that they would
Because you
do
yourself are mini.
I am.
You're a tiny little person.
Thank you. No, so I haven't had that, but I may try it.
It is outstanding. A spicy chicken biscuit is exactly what it sounds like, a piece of breaded spicy chicken on a fresh baked biscuit. The biscuit here is exactly the same as on the standard chicken option, dry but packed full of flavor. The chicken is moist and savory with a low to medium kick of heat that feels balanced rather than overwhelming. They did away with this for a while, and I think popular opinion drove them back.
I bet that would be awesome with the honey.
I bet you're right.
Oh, my gosh.
Third order at Chick-fil-A chicken minis. This is exactly what she's talking about. 4 bite-sized breaded chicken nuggets wrapped in tiny yeast rolls. The nuggets hold up to the moist, tender, savory expectations you'd have for the chain's chicken. The rolls are predominantly starchy but carry mild notes of creamy sweetness, Steve. Mild notes. They carry the mild notes.
All right. Waiting for the mouthfeel.
It's mouthfeel is on the way. I can tell. Tiny bit of extra honey make these especially delicious. Yes, it does. You are correct. Now, here's where they lose me. Sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. If I'm going to order,
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, if I'm ordering a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, I ain't doing it at Chick-fil-A. I'm there for the chicken.
Yeah, if I'm going to Chick-fil-A, I'm going for the chicken.
Give me sausage, egg, and cheese. I'll go to Hardee's. Thank you very much.
I didn't even realize they offered that.
Mm-hmm. How about hash browns? I love their hash browns.
I do too.
Sure, yeah.
One of the things is, despite the fact that Chick-fil-A is actually one of the healthier fast food products that you can get, I've seen the comparisons done. And when you start talking about lunch fast food, Chick-fil-A is good because they use a pressure fryer, and the chicken patty itself does not take a lot of grease in. They don't care about that with the hash browns at all. These hash browns are greasy and disgusting and delicious.
They're so good.
I mean, if you get to the bottom of that box and there's not a big old grease stain in the box, then they're doing it wrong. But man, it's good.
A fried potato, fried super, super crispy. I have, that's my weakness. And that they have, that perfect crisp on the outside of them.
Dead on.
Very good.
Best hash browns in the business, in my opinion. They say, do order the sausage patty. No. I'm at Chick-fil-A.
That doesn't even look appealing.
No, it doesn't. It looks horrible. It's in a cup, and it just is like, why would I want that? Do order bacon, egg, and cheese muffin. No. I'm not doing that. Skip the hash brown scramble bowl with grilled chicken. Yeah, I get it.
That doesn't look appealing either.
Skip the bacon. Yeah, it's a side of bacon that they put in a cup, and it's like, ugh, why would I do that? Skip the egg white grill. Okay, I've actually had this. It was really good. It's on a muffin. It's like an English muffin, and it is just egg white and cheese, and I think there was a grilled chicken patty in there. Yep. And I was like, well, I never would have guessed that this was going to be as delicious as it is. Am I going to order it again? No, I'm going to order a regular chicken biscuit next time because I don't care about my body. Skip the hash brown scramble burrito. I'm much more likely to actually get in on this thing.
They, I think they used to have they've always had a burrito, but I think they've changed, maybe 10 plus years ago, they changed how they, what they package in the burrito, what they put in the burrito. So I don't need that anymore, but I used to get their breakfast burrito. It was very, very good, but I think they've changed it from what it used to be.
This is where the change took place. It's got hash browns in it. Yes, fine, delicious. Breaded chicken nuggets. That's where they lose me. Okay, I think it used to
had chicken in it before, but it wasn't breaded.
It wasn't breaded, exactly. Scrambled eggs and cheese inside a flour tortilla. Comes with a packet of salsa. She says, you're probably tired of hearing it at this point, but the eggs were terrible and ruined the whole experience for me. The wet, slimy eggs made the hash browns soggy, while the breaded chicken nuggets were a bit wet. The flour tortilla was okay, but it was very bland. That's why they give you the salsa. Of course, it's also 700 calories.
Yeah. I think I would put the
That's a lot.
Chick-fil-A sauce. Or no. There was some kind of ranch or something that I would always put with it. That made it really good. I didn't even use the salsa.
Salsa's my jam when it comes to a breakfast burrito. I love a little salsa, and then I down it with a beer, which you have to keep below window level while you're driving. It's very difficult. I was kidding, people. Please don't write to management. 746 with Dixon and Vining.
He's trying to become my next client.
Catherine
I thought that's why he mentioned it. He already was.
Not today, Satan. Brian Setzer, Slim Jim Phantom, and Rocker is the drummer's name. I can't think of his first name. Doug. I'm going to go with Doug. I'm just making that up. I don't know. I believe the Stray Cats are on tour again this year. Poor Mr. Setzer had to get his physical maladies under control, and so they had to back the tour up a little bit. Actually, I think they canceled it entirely, and then he got better, and then he was like, okay, we're back. If you have not seen them, they are truly worth the time and attention. Setzer himself is one of the more brilliant guitarists of our era and is underrated completely because he's I've interviewed him twice now. He understands music theory on a level that is completely missed by most people. I mean, he's in another realm when it comes to music theory. And you go like, well, why is he playing rockabilly? Because he wanted to. It's what he likes.
Lee Rocker, by the way.
Lee Rocker. I knew that. Yeah, sure. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It is Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. We're looking at about a 50-50 chance of rain every day. And today and tomorrow, 60% on Saturday. Highs in the low to mid-90s. Max texts us and says, good morning. I used to work for Hershey's Chocolate. Seasonal flavors help stock prices go up, helps investors make the company look good. Okay. That's why you're doing it? Fine. I understand. It's all about business. It's not about making us happy. It's not about improving your product's relationship with their buyers. It's just about that. You're just money grubbing is what I'm hearing.
Lots of psychology.
Mm-hmm. Anthony, for some reason, I guess he's talking about when we were discussing the WNBA.
Uh-huh.
He says, I've not seen a basketball game since Meadowlark Lemon and Curly Neal retired.
So it's been a while.
It's been a while. Do you know who those people are, Catherine?
No.
Meadowlark Lemon and Curly Neal were two of the biggest stars in the Harlem Globetrotters in my era, the 1970s, early 1980s.
The first name rings a bell.
Mm-hmm.
The second name absolutely did not.
I was at a Lids store in Montgomery. Why was I there? I took my grandson to the mall. Yeah, just to walk around a little bit, see what there was to see. It was not my kind of mall. I can tell you that. But walked into a Lids store. If you've ever been to the Lids, it's always in that section of the mall, like it's off in a corner somewhere, and the fluorescent lights are flickering. And you go in, and there are no hats for white people in there. They're not designed for white people, okay? But there was something in there that I wanted so very badly, and that was an official Meadowlark Lemon Harlem Globetrotters jersey. Now, if you've listened to the show for any amount of time, you know that when I was a kid, it was about two things. One was the Harlem Globetrotters, and the other was the Jackson 5. I was a huge fan of both of those entities, ate, slept, lived, and breathed them, really for a matter of years in the early 1970s. And I literally had the hanger off the rack, and I was reaching for my wallet, and then I pictured myself in the jersey, and I went, nope, and put it back. This is not something a doughy white guy should be wearing. It's not a good look.
The mental picture is fabulous.
All it took. All it took for me to be like, this would be a bad idea. Jerry, talking about Tommy Tuberville, says he wants common sense. Hell, common sense tells me we have the same amount of sunlight regardless if we put a time on it. That's like saying, cut my pizza into 4 pieces because I don't think I can eat 6. Yes. It's the old Indian story about daylight saving time is cutting one end of the blanket off and sewing it to the other to make it longer. Yeah. I get it. I understand. Richard the cop says, thank God you're not April Marie. I mean, come on, Richard, the Uber driver. I said, April Marie has nothing but good things to say about you. How dare you? He says you're dry.
I think he was talking about April Marie.
You think April Marie is dry?
I think that's what he's saying.
Sure? I thought the sense of humor was dry. I mean, I thought that's what we were talking about here. You do have a dry sense of humor.
I enjoy a dry sense of
so
humor.
So dry, it comes in a pouch. Very dry. Dr. Dory Curtis writes quite the diatribe about the attempt back in 1973 to actually go to full-time daylight saving time. And Dr. Dory is absolutely correct. I was there at the time as well. It did not go over well. There were a couple of kids killed in Florida, hit by cars, traffic accident. They were standing on the street corner waiting for the school bus, and it's dark and in the middle of winter, and nobody likes that. This was the biggest complaint. They actually ended the experiment early. It was going to be a 2-year experiment. See how it went. They actually voted to end the experiment early because public opinion was so bad on the subject. I thought maybe we as a people had grown. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, to me, if I were going to pick one or the other, I would probably pick regular time.
I like standard time better.
I might pick standard time. I don't know. I shouldn't actually get a vote because while the sun is coming up, I'm in this room with the blind closed. I have no earthly idea. It's like being in a submarine or a casino. I don't know what's going on out there.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't really get a vote on the subject, and I'm fine with that. I'm just tired of the switching back and forth and switching back and forth.
I can't stand the switching back and forth, and I like the standard time better because, I mean, it really kind of helps promote sleep. It helps the circadian rhythm. If you have a normal schedule to have it darker earlier, you actually, your body starts to wind down earlier and you can sleep a little bit better, sleep earlier, especially if you have to get up in the morning.
That's the claim.
That is the claim. And I tend to do a whole lot better with standard time than daylight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just still think Alabama should just be on Eastern time. I think they screwed this map up so badly. Why are we not on Eastern time? If we were on Eastern time, that would solve a myriad of problems for us, but we're not.
Sunset would be a lot later.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Because in Georgia, they get that in Atlanta, they get that last little bit before the time changes over into Central Time. So their sunset's later.
Fair question.
I keep saying that I've got the perfect solution. We're ready to fall back 1 hour, fall back 30 minutes, leave it there.
Okay. The entire nation, or?
Yeah, the entire nation falls back 30 minutes unless you just decided, like Arizona, that you're not taking part in the changing the clocks thing anyway.
And then you'd be a half hour off from everyone else
and
all
just
the
be
time.
done with it.
Weird.
I know.
That would be weird.
But you know what? It'd solve the problem.
Solve
because
something.
we're only halfway.
Yeah.
We're just cutting it halfway.
That's true.
In Australia, they've got like 6 different time zones, and they have some 45-minute time zones and some 30-minute time zones.
And they're all massively confused, and that's fun.
It was confusing when I was there because I was 30 minutes when I was in Adelaide or right outside of Adelaide. I was 30 minutes behind Melbourne or something.
I think Newfoundland is the same way up in Canada. They're off by 45 minutes or something like that. They're just a little. You're like, what are you doing? Just make it. Just round it off. China, by the way, one time zone. Entire country, one time zone.
Yep.
Sun goes down.
That's working out well.
Sun goes down at 3 p.m. in some such sections of that nation. You're like, whoa.
And in the far western part of China, the sun's up at like midnight.
Yeah.
Drew says, give me Taco Bell Cinnabon Delights for breakfast any day. I'm addicted and getting fat. Well, they're easy to get addicted to, Drew. I had them once. I will never order them again for exactly that reason. Jeff, joke of the day. I'm so terrified to ask my wife to clean up after making breakfast that I've been walking on eggshells all day.
Love it. Love it.
Got the joke. Got the rim shot. Good for you. 8 o'clock. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Drop us a line, 545-995.